Morecambe tomorrow. What are we expecting against Morecambe?
Well, you know what you're going to get, you know, in terms of the way Jim sets his sides up and just the attitude that his players have. You know, they're always up for the game. You know, I think that's a real reflection of his passion and commitment and the way he used to play, certainly. And so, you know, it's going to be a tough game. But they also play, you know, some really good football as well. You know, predominantly 4-2-3-1 if you like, or 4-3-3. But you know, they've got good movement in forward areas, and there's going to be certain things we'll have to do really well to counteract that.
And obviously the weather's been a big talking point up and down the country this week. Obviously we've been training indoors at St George's. How much of a plus has that been this week?
Oh, it's massive. I mean, we've had it probably over the last 4 or 5 years. Whenever anyone comes in this office, and about March time, February time, January time, they'll all say the same. You know, we've not been on a grass pitch for 6 weeks, or we've been training at a school, or you know, and we very rarely miss a session. And it is almost, we're quite spoilt at times. So we're really grateful for that. Alan and Carol up at the St George's are really, really helpful. For example, today we've trained in the indoor dome, full-size pitch. Doesn't affect anything at all. And they'll say, look, there's a slot at 1 o'clock and we might have to adjust our training time, but the fact is we're getting the minutes of training that we want to do and we're getting the work we want to do, so that's really, really important.
Okay. 2 players that have been joining in with those training sessions are obviously Gary Alexander and David Gray. How are they looking this week?
Yeah, I've been really pleased with them, really pleased. I brought Gary in. You know, I think we all were aware that, you know, there's a certain thing that we feel that we possibly need in the forward line, and it's a chance for him to see if he's that missing ingredient. We've got lots of other good forwards, but just felt that someone that's a bit more of a target man would be beneficial to us. David probably comes in slightly different scenario, where David's one we spoke to in the summer, and I really like him as a player. But Phil Edwards has done fantastic at right back, so I think he understands, and I've explained to him. But you know, he might have to be patient and work really hard to see if he can take the shirt off Phil. I think Phil, you know, has deserved to be in charge of the number 2 shirt, if you like. And David's worked really hard this week, and I've been really impressed with his attitude and ability so far.
Speaking to the physio earlier today, it just seems that Michael Symes is on his way back as well from injury, and he's the only sort of doubt ahead of Saturday. So that's really pleasing, isn't it? Yeah, we're
hoping so. You know, I think we've been quite fortunate with injuries so far this season. If we can continue that, we do a lot of work in terms of trying to get people on the pitch and trying to manage little things before they become a problem. So it'd be good to get Simesy back. You know, he's going to be fighting for his place with 4 other excellent strikers. And unfortunately at the minute, you know, I'm going to have 22 players and I can only play 11. So there's going to be 1 or 2 that are probably a bit impatient. There's going to be 1 or 2 that want to fight for their place. There's going to be 1 or 2 that might want to go out for a month's loan. But ultimately, we've got a very strong squad, and I think we're going to need everybody over, you know, what's probably going to be a period where there's lots and lots of games in close succession, just due to the weather and due to, I'm sure, there's going to be more postponements ahead.